Killer whales, whether you love them or fear them, one thing's for certain. Killer whales kill. So why do so many people dislike their name, and should we call them orcas instead?
Killer whales really are the apex, the top predator in the ocean. Everything in the ocean is either small enough to not be on the menu or looking over its shoulder for killer whales coming. My name's Lance Barrett-Lennard, and I'm the director of the Marine Mammal Research Program here at the Vancouver Aquarium. I've been studying killer whales for over 30 years now. Killer whales get their name from the simple observation that people have made over the ages, it goes back thousands of years, of seeing these magnificent, impressive animals swimming through the oceans and killing things, large things. And so the names that have been used for killer whales over the ages by different cultures all reflect this kind of awe, I guess, and terror to some extent, fear.
Blubber chopper, murder whale, assassin whale, the feared one.
Killer whales have a very broad diet. You're talking about Tyrannosaurus rex. You're talking about a predator that can take on just about anything. And yet if you look at a killer whale, they don't have armor, they don't have spines, they don't have huge teeth actually, even given their size. What they've got is huge brains and the ability to work socially. It can take them easily several hours to kill a large whale, and they would do that by drowning it very often, by harassing it, holding it down by its pectoral flippers, rolling on top of its blowhole. With something like a sea lion, they'll ram it repeatedly. Their tails have tremendous power, so they can flip their bodies around and strike with their tails. Yeah, killer whales can even hunt great white sharks and do quite frequently. And they make it look easy. And the good news for us as people is we're not on the menu for killer whales anywhere. There haven't been any documented cases of killer whales killing humans in the wild. There have been a couple of cases of killer whales killing people trainers in captivity. I think what's interesting about those cases is, as sad as they are, is that those weren't predatory attacks. The people weren't eaten.
And that actually raises an ethical question on whether these wild animals should even be kept in aquariums, and the complications that arise when you release them from captivity back into the ocean.
It was very different 30 years ago, I think, when killer whales had a very bad reputation and were being killed deliberately by humans.
Since the 1960s, the word orca has become increasingly popular, and while it might sound better, the translation from Latin is pretty much on point. Orcinus means specifically of the kingdom of the dead, or belonging to Orcus, the god of the underworld in Roman mythology. And orca means large-bellied pot or jar.
I generally use the killer whale term myself, though, because my colleagues in the science world do that. I guess we all kind of are not particularly in favor of sort of sanitizing anything to do with science. And these animals, they kill for a living. Well, I think if people are really going to understand this species, they have to come to terms with its predatory nature. We should be concerned about what it does and what kind of animal it is, not what name humans have chosen to stick on it.
And if you still don't like these names for killer whales, maybe one of these could work. The supernatural, our relative under the water, or god of offshore. Let us know in the comments why you prefer orca or killer whale.